everybody. We've got our special wellbeing specialist program, and we're so excited that you've joined us. May I introduce to you Ian. Dr. Ian, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Ian Kaminskyj here. Merry Christmas to you all. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas with your family and friends. And we're super excited to be presenting to you today our next online Facebook Live in our wellness series.
Okay. And today, Ian is going to do a talk on anxiety and hypnosis. And wow, what a topic that would be, because a lot of people at the moment are suffering anxiety. And perhaps, Ian, you could just sort of lead up to us. And how many people would you think of your clients are suffering from anxiety?
Yeah, look, great question, actually, Tony, because what I find fascinating is that, you know, of all the clients who come to see me, whether it's for things like smoking or drinking or gambling or anger management or weight loss, that almost all of them have some anxiety in some form, or that it actually is a trigger that actually causes them to smoke, drink, gamble, and so on. What's really fascinating, Tony, is that, you know, people, you know, try and find their own way to be able to handle anxiety more effectively. And unfortunately, many of them turn to, you know, self-medicated techniques to help them, you know, and they often, you know, are things like alcohol or drink, you know, sort of smoking, tobacco or other things, you know, or it's, you know, gambling and so on, as a way to sort of help them better deal with the anxiety. So I would actually sort of say that I would say most of my clients have anxiety, if not the primary cause of their challenges, smoking, drinking, and gambling. It's at least a contributing factor in many situations.
Before we get going, perhaps what we need to do is define what is anxiety. So what do you think anxiety is, Ian? What is it?
Yeah, look, it's a great question. So we've all probably heard of the terms worry. We've probably all heard of the term stress. And then you think, well, hang on, what then is anxiety? So let's talk about the differences between them, because they are different. So worry is actually more when we're sort of mentally focusing on you know, a concern that we have, an uncertain outcome. Maybe we're sitting in an exam or doing a talk and we're really concerned about, oh, how am I going to do, you know, what's going to happen if I sort of, you know, fail the exam? So this is sort of, worry is primarily a mental activity where we're focusing on potentially negative outcomes from an event or from some sort of future activity that we're doing.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. It's all about thinking about the future, isn't it? The future hasn't come, so it's a bit like, you know, you might have some clients who catastrophize the worst sort of scenarios. Perhaps you can give some examples of that.
Well, I was going to say it's an interesting point, Tony, because actually worry is in fact positive to a certain extent. For example, you know, if you've got an exam to sit, let's just say in 2 weeks' time, and you worry about it, it actually forces you to think about, well, how can I actually pass this bloody thing? You know, what can I do now? How can I study? You know, put a study plan in place and do past papers and all that sort of stuff. It sort of forces you into action. Yes. But where it becomes a problem is, as you've mentioned, where people catastrophize and just get really carried away. I'm going to fail this exam. You know, it's going to be the end of the world and all that sort of stuff. Or number two is when the worry doesn't stop after the exam finishes. Yeah. It just sort of continues after the event is well and truly over and done with. That's when we have a major problem with worry, and it becomes more a compulsive thing and a long-term phenomena.
Yep, so and I think it's also to do with different aspects of things, like it can be to do with relationships. You're thinking about a meeting that you've got to go to a person and you haven't had a good experience with that person. Perhaps give us a few examples of that.
Well, that could have then maybe more a stress thing then too, you see, because stress is actually more when we're looking at an external stimuli or a trigger of some sort that then causes our, probably quite familiar, fight, freeze or flight type of response. Yes. Like the example you mentioned, Tony, you know, the opponent's got a meeting coming with someone that they don't really like, for example, or they've you know had bad experiences in the past. That's what we call an external trigger, and that will then cause them to to get quite stressed about the event. They might sort of think about the fight, flight, or freeze type of response. Cortisol levels go up, adrenaline level goes up, and they get in a sort of really sort of stressed state, wanting to respond to the situation.
What is the difference between anxiety and stress? Are they really the same beast?
This is what I was leading to. Great question, Tony. So we've talked about. So let's talk about this again. So a worry we talked about was the mental activity, of what's going to go wrong. But it's actually more a physical phenomena. The adrenaline coming up, the cortisol levels going up when we've got an external stressful event coming up. And actually, anxiety, Tony, is actually the combination of the two. Yes. So it incorporates both a mental component, psychological component, which is the worry side of things, but it also incorporates the stress, the physical side of things, with the cortisol, the adrenaline also happening at the same time. And actually, often it's due to a false alarm, something that actually, is a perceived threat, or again, a catastrophization, if that's a word.
That's right.
Of a particular event that's coming up. So, it's really the two together, the mental, the worry, the physical, the stress combined gives us the anxiety.
Yeah. But I think to just sort of clarify it even further, it's about a future event that's not happened and you're sort of concerned about it, and that's causing you stress because you're reacting to it. Would that summarize it well?
Yeah. I mean, stress can actually be more a current situation. For example, just being narrowly being missed by a car as you're crossing the road. That's a very stressful event. But anxiety is often, and it can also be anxiety can also be a present thing too. Someone who looks at you in a funny way, you think to yourself, "Oh, the boss is looking at me like that. Oh, I want to get sacked. I want to get sacked," sort of thing. So it can also be a present phenomena as well. But more often, as you're saying, Tony, it's more like a future type thing that people are concerned or anxious about, certainly.
What about if people sort of go back into the past and they relive things? What would you define that as? Is that like a different form of anxiety because they're going back into the past?
That's a really good question, actually. It's sort of more reliving events in the past, but where I think it ties in beautifully with the future concerns and worries, Tony, is that often negative events in the past cause us to then either catastrophize or anticipate negative events in the future.
That's right. They sort of link with each other, don't they? Because it could be that somebody's had a bad experience with another person, and they think, "Oh, gee, I've got to meet this person." And then they think about, "Oh, the past thing. Oh, I had a terrible thing," and it just goes on and on.
Another great example, actually, is, for example, with phobias. If someone as a young child was bitten by a dog, and they got a real fright from that, really traumatic experience, they will actually then often carry that phobia with them for life. Whether they're a 6'5", really strong-looking guy with like a little chihuahua, they'll still potentially have a phobic response to that. And so this is a great example, where past experiences, negative ones especially, can really lead to this sort of anxiety over future events, even present ones that actually might occur on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, beautiful. Now let's look at some of the tools that we can use. And one of the tools I know that you specialize in is hypnosis. So tell us, what is hypnosis?
Yeah, look, great question. I mean, I love hypnosis. I can talk about this for hours, Tony. But it encompasses a number of different aspects. And I'm talking here about therapeutic hypnosis, in hypnotherapy, rather than talking about stage shows. Let's just focus on the more sort of serious side of hypnosis. So it inevitably involves a state of relaxation. So that one of the first things that we do, Tony, when we're working with a client, let's just say, for example, a smoking client, quit smoking client, we actually first of all get them into a very, very relaxed state. So we do like a bit of a relaxation process with them.
Yes.
And the point of that actually is that something really fascinating happens, Tony, when people start to relax, with their eyes closed and they're sort of just getting more and more calmer and more at peace.
Yep.
What it tends to happen, they start to get more and more open
Yes.
to suggestions, to sort of ideas and concepts that will actually help them to achieve the outcome they want to achieve, which they otherwise might totally ignore or not even consider in a normal discussion they might have with someone face to face.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number one. But what also happens, Tony, they become a lot more visual, they
Yes.
become a lot more creative, and they can sort of see things that they've never considered or even thought about before. The solutions to problems or other things that they're, again, more open to taking on board for them.
Can anyone be hypnotized, or just a special person to be hypnotized?
Great question. And this sort of comes back to the amazing observation that many of us go into hypnotic trance up to 120 times a day, Tony.
Wow.
We are actually going in and out of trance basically all throughout the day without even realizing it in most cases. And I'll give you a couple of examples where you're actually going into hypnotic trance. Number one, when you're daydreaming, for example.
Yes.
When you're, for example, fully engrossed in a movie or a book and time just sort of flies past. Or, for example, waking up in a bit of a daze, or maybe, going to bed in a bit of a daze. That's an example of a trance. And probably anywhere, Tony, where you're working on autopilot. Right. For example, driving down the street, you're sort of driving away, but you're thinking about, your dinner coming up, or, a problem at work, or whatever it might be. But your mind's elsewhere, but you're actually physically still doing all the activity required to complete the task at hand. So these are all examples of hypnotic trance. They're quite shallow examples, but nevertheless, they're examples of trance. So we go in and out of them all the time. So it means thereby, Tony, to answer your question specifically, everyone can be hypnotized as long as two things are present. Yes. Number one, they want to be or are happy to be. And number two, they're happy to actually get the outcome that the actual therapist is helping them achieve. Because, Tony, if someone doesn't want to quit smoking and they're with me as a client, no matter what I do as a therapist, they ain't going to quit smoking, right? So there's really no point actually in continuing the therapy.
Yes.
The actual only exceptions to that rule are if people have any specific times of mental health illnesses, things like schizophrenia or sort of psychosis, some forms of that. It's not appropriate for them to be having hypnosis. But apart from that, most other people, it's not an issue whatsoever.
I'm just looking at the time, Ian, and perhaps what we can do now is perhaps you can just explain how hypnosis is useful and then jump into a demo.
Yeah, okay. So as I mentioned before, where it's actually very useful is that it actually, because of that sort of very relaxed state we go into, it actually allows us to open up to these suggestions that I mentioned before, that we would otherwise totally discount or ignore. We become more open to taking them on board, which will inevitably then help us to achieve our desired result. And what it actually also helps with, Tony, I might just sort of go back one little step here, is that we haven't talked that much about the different functions of the two parts of the mind, the conscious and the unconscious part of the minds. So consciously, we do things like we analyze situations, we make decisions. Our short-term memory resides there, plus our willpower, which can be very strong in many cases if people are particularly pretty stubborn. But, if we have, for example, something happen out of the blue, we actually then respond in some sort of automatic fashion, which is more a response via the unconscious mind. Now, with this part of the mind, this actually stores all of our habits, all of our beliefs, and also our protection mechanism. And so what we find, Tony, is just going back to answering your question, is that, when people are struggling to get rid of a negative pattern of behavior, it could be, for example, smoking, drinking, gambling, and so on, they've actually got an internal conflict between what's happening at their conscious mind level and what's happening at their unconscious mind level. Typically, consciously, they want to stop smoking. But there's something deep at the unconscious level that actually is holding them back from achieving that result. And because hypnosis works at the level of the unconscious mind, it actually helps to change that internal conflict now to more and more agreement, alignment, what we call integration, that then starts to make the change process much, much easier for them. That sort of makes sense, Tony?
It does. Thank you.
Awesome. So how about we just do then a very quick hypnosis demonstration. So we're just going to go through a powerful process for, firstly, deep relaxation, but also then we're going to throw in some techniques for stress reduction and stress management. I'm mindful of the time. I'm going to stick to about sort of 12 or so minutes, 15 at the very tops, and then actually we'll then come back with some questions and a bit of a wrap up. So you ready to go, Tony?
Yep, let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, so get yourself nice and comfortable. Now, we don't want to be operating any machinery while we do this. So if you're in a car, for example, you might want to turn this off or best pull over, for example. But just focus on this totally with all your attention and don't be doing anything else or operating any machinery. So just sit back, relax now and close your eyes. In just a few moments, you're going to be now more relaxed than you've ever known yourself to be. I'm going to mention certain parts of your body, and as I do, I want you to feel that part just begin to relax. Just feel that part just begin to relax. Now take in a long, deep breath, and as you exhale, notice how you continue to relax now even more. Now, as you lie motionless, begin noticing a beautiful white light just above your head. And it's the most relaxing light you could possibly imagine. So now starts to lower around the crown of your head. It touches different parts of your body. Just feel all the tension in that part of the body just totally disappear and melt away. So big, deep breath in. As you exhale, feel this beautiful light now coming in contact with your forehead. Just feel your forehead totally relax and all the little worry lines just totally disappear. Down to your eyes, feel them now become very, very heavy. They don't even want to actually open. Down towards your mouth, feel your mouth become so relaxed. Your lower jawbone actually might even drop. Feel this light now coming around towards the back of the ears. Feel all the little nerve endings behind the ears just now totally relaxed and calm down. Coming down towards the shoulders now just drop as all the tension in your shoulders just melts away. This beautiful light now continues lower down the two arms to the elbows, to the wrists, hands and fingers, and just feel every part of both your arms and hands totally relax as you go deeper, deeper and deeper. This beautiful light now is now up into the chest, diaphragm now into the stomach, and just feel all the digestive organs within your stomach now totally relax and calm down. Coming now down through the bottom, down to the hips, down through the legs, the knees, shins, ankles, feet and toes. Now one more big deep breath in now. As you exhale, just feel any last bit of tension, any last bit of stress in your body now just totally melting away. And as you breathe more and more as we go through this, just feel your body relax even more and more with each breath that you take. Now, in your mind, I want you to picture a happy place. It can be anywhere or it can be completely made up in your mind. Your happy place can have anything or anyone there with you, or it can have no one. It can be indoors or outdoors. It's totally up to you. What does matter though is it's a place where you want to be and you feel totally at ease there. This happy place can change whenever you want it to change, or it can stay the same. This is a place that you can go to whenever, wherever you are. It's your safe haven. When you are feeling overwhelmed, your special place will help you relax and get you through the moment. If you become angered, upset, stressed by something, just close your eyes for whatever time it takes. Go straight to your happy place, and you can become calm and tranquil very, very quickly. Over time, with some practice, you won't actually even need to have your happy place. You'll be able to recognize your ability to relax even in the most stressful times. And without actually even going to this special place, you'll be able to relax. You have the ability to remain calm in all situations. Whatever comes your way, you can now handle. You find yourself not as anxious, and others actually see it too. People around you notice the change in you, but they cannot place it. You recognize the change as well, and you are enjoying life so much more. This is your life. You have begun a new life where you no longer become anxious filled in stressful situations. You are the epitome of calm and collectedness. We're now going to saturate and inundate every part of your mind and body with a suggestion. And I want you to help me out with this. I want you to mentally repeat this suggestion in your head with me as you hear it. You don't need to say it out loud, just say it in your mind and repeat it. And the more forcefully you mentally repeat this, the more effective it'll actually be. And the more emotions and feeling you put into this, the better it will actually be. So now, with all the power and emotion in your body, say in your mind after me. Every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Last time now. Every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Excellent. So it's now going to wake you up now. I'm going to now count from 5 back to 1. And when I get to 1, your eyes will open. You'll be wide awake, feeling absolutely fantastic. And these feelings of deep calmness and relaxation will continue with you for as long as you need to for the rest of today. So 5, slowly stirring now. 4, it's becoming now more aware of your environment, the temperature in the room, the sounds around you, maybe how your back's feeling against the chair or the couch you're sitting on. 3, big deep breath in now. 2, feeling even more energy now starting to work its way through your body. And then 1, opening your eyes, feeling wide awake, feeling absolutely fantastic.
Well,
So,
Ian, that was absolutely marvellous. I can feel totally energised after that, and at the same time feel very relaxed. Any
beautiful.
stress or tension that I had is gone. So thank you very much. That was marvellous.
Awesome. So this is exactly why we find hypnosis actually works really well to help our clients calm right down and give them the tools from both the psychological, especially psychological point of view, to just help them keep really calm in the future, no matter what happens in their life.
The one thing, Ian, is that this can be also practice, like self-hypnosis. The spiel that you said, there's nothing stopping your client saying it to himself, correct?
Yes, there's actually a very powerful form of self-hypnosis you can use that actually helps you get into a very calm and relaxed state. And what you can do, just to very quickly just walk people through that, how that works, Tony, you can just simply close your eyes and just simply take in 10 long, slow, deep breaths.
Yes.
And as you breathe in, you just say to yourself the word relaxation, or just relax. So relax. And then you just say letting out all the tension as you breathe out. You do that 10 times, and you'll find that you just go deeper and deeper and deeper into a really calm, really relaxed state. And what you can then do, if you want to maybe just a little bit extra tip for people, you can actually then do some beautiful creative visualization of you performing at your best for that future event that we were previously worrying about. Whether it was actually an exam, whether it was actually a presentation, whatever it might have been, that people can actually get and visualize, the perfect performance of that particular event. And the great thing is that with that mental rehearsal, Tony, when they actually get to the event, their mind will be saying to themselves, I've been here. I've done this before. I know how this works. And they'll be able to sort of thereby stay in a much more calmer, more relaxed state.
Yeah, that's terrific. I really enjoyed that. So I'd like to thank you, Ian, for giving us all these insights, and it's really helped me. I'm hoping that it's helping the audience, and I've actually got a few reactions from the audience, so I'd like to thank the people who've reacted. So I had Darren and Annie come in, and they loved your talk, so that was terrific. So thank you very much for that.
What we can actually also do, just remember, Tony, we can actually also give all of our listeners, or anyone who listens after our live is finished, a really beautiful, deep relaxation, stress management audio recording.
Wow, yep.
So what we can actually do is, so what we can do, totally complimentary, together with a couple of extra tips and ideas about handling anxiety better. So what we can actually do, we can just put maybe in the comments underneath the recording, Tony, on the Facebook page, we'll put that a little link that take them to a page that actually just has the recording available for them. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, I'll just show that, and people can just put that down. Just bear with me for a second. So that's the link there. So if you look for the Wellbeing Specialists on Facebook, you'll find us.
What we'll do though, sorry, Tony, what we'll do though is in the comments underneath this live, we'll just put another little link that takes them to the recording as well. Not the recording of today's live, but the recording of this special audio program. A little like what actually Sharada had last time. Remember those little links to the various recordings and stuff? We'll put that underneath this particular live. People then just simply go to the website and get access to these really powerful recordings as well.
So that'll be great.
So any remaining questions from you, Tony, from anyone?
No, I think I've got some great insights, and I hope the audience have got some great insights. And I think we should probably just about close off. We're getting very close to the top of the hour. So, Ian, thank you very much. And I'd just like to wish everybody a happy and safe New Year. We're going to be back. We're going to be back. We've got another special program coming on, January the 11th. So mark it down on your calendar. We're going to talk about well-being and spirituality, something that's often misunderstood, but something that's so important for us to really understand and get a good grasp on that one. So goodbye. Anything else? Last comments there, Ian?
Well, I'm really looking forward to that talk, that presentation, and also let's make 2021 our best year ever. So happy New Year, everyone.
Yep. So we'll just leave our page up there. So if anyone wants to note us down, that's where we're at, and we'll send out all those other freebies for you. So you look after yourself and take care. And we love you, and we hope to bring you more and more of these wellbeing specialist programs. So thank you and bye.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.